I'm just going to film for the whole video. You just begin whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. I woke up with a sore throat this morning. All right then.
Is that part
Nelson,
of your speech?
huh?
Is that part of your speech?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Just take that into consideration. And I'm shaking. I'm scared. All right, the words come. All right, yeah. Nelson Mandela himself once said, "I was not born with the hunger to be free. I was born free." And a proclamation advocated by few in society, let alone those in observation of practices following illicit activities conducted by yourselves, the government. That's something I should also address you guys at the government. I'm going against you as an opposing political party or something. I understand the importance of confidentiality and that not everything concerns us as citizens of this fine country, but when we are silenced, detained, and subliminally restrained from speaking our mind, this is despite being under freedom of speech rights constitutionally imbued to prevent such corruption, then that is where we draw the line. Whistleblowers should be protected. Whistleblowers far and wide disclose thousands of secrets vital to the prolonging of certain subjects. In response, all you demonstrate is to eschew their soliciting attributes, you must gradually increase laws against freedom of speech and subjugate all evidence against yourselves. And this you have done. To what degree are we stripped from freedom? To what degree are we being deceived and manipulated into decisions we don't know both sides on? You cling to whatever resources you have against the victimized, as shown with Julian Assange's case, where the very accusation of him in violation of the law led to his imprisonment. And to even qualify as a whistleblower, one must have have reputable evidence with documentation of who, what, when, and where of the infringement. It must also be of a primary source. And along with the paperwork and extensive incubational time of the submission, the individual is left vulnerable to being silenced. And if either the two disclosures required to progress to the incrimination of the fraudulent entity contain discrepancies, then the claim is invalid and will not be processed. Despite all the prerequisites, completion does not ensure protection against the actions deployed against you by the accused. Regressive to your belief, citizens of Australia were vindicated to assume their freedom of speech rights to help dictate their country's future. And yet you construct laws such as the National Security Legislation Amendment to counteract journalism. Such a law can cease operation to any investigation into anything the Attorney General deems a special intelligence operation. To eventuate will be the avid abuse of this statement in times of illegal and corrupt government. Adhesive to that fact is the heinous loophole devised around the fact that members of certain intelligence organizations are not supplied with any kind of protection when disclosing illicit operations of their profession. Coherent to what is expected of you, you now attribute a broader parameter of reportable misconducts and fraudulence sufficibility to anonymously exposed corporations. However, 46% of employees insightful to illegal actions that persisted to but observe said they did so because of fear of ramifications and or retaliation. So they should be, with the latest statistics professing 31% in terms of physical attack at whistleblowers' residence, despite whistleblowing cases increasing by 12%, the number of retaliation incidents has increased by 83%. Blatantly, 1/3 of whistleblowers will face action discouragement, in accordance to the data from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Impertinent to the very bounds keeping Australians safe, freedom of speech and whistleblower protection constitutes paramount relevance. We are, as a race, inadvertently depict amoral mentality as justifiable. But to what extent we respond to this, that really discloses exploitation within governments. Unanimous doesn't mean everyone that is in the room at the time, but everyone that holds an accountable vote. We as Australians should be holding an accountable vote.